Now, we've talked about infrastructure and physical links between these places getting produce into ports, into airports, and people out to those regions. What other infrastructure is needed to make sure that regions can fully capitalise on both export opportunities and inbound tourism opportunities? I'm thinking beyond the roads, there's other veins of perhaps digital infrastructure and energy infrastructure. Anyone want to jump in? Simon, I'll start.
I think that digital connectivity is probably the key.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel was talking about how on selling his produce, online, Instagram, Twitter, all those things. So there's people who will buy from the shop but also do it online. I think the digital connectivity is important. I think the Minister and also Rebecca mentioned that as a key thing. It's funny, I've just had our national conference in Toowoomba a couple of weeks ago, and I talked to the guy from the NBN, and he says as soon as we put up more capacity, it's being used because people are streaming movies or they're streaming this. So they've just got to keep building and building the capacity, new 5G, 6G systems. But I think that's the key in relation to everything around Tasmania and also regional Australia, whether it's for health, tourism, industry, is that digital connectivity.
Daniel, how important?
Yeah, look, it's part of the 2030 tourism plan, which was released yesterday, which is a joint government industry blueprint. That the key priority there is a 10-year infrastructure plan, because Tasmania has suffered from being quite good at building roads and building new things, but terrible at maintaining them. So when we build things, it's very easy to get money. There's no buckets of money to actually keep things going. So parks is a classic example. Our primary reason that people come to Tasmania often is for our natural assets through our national parks, and yet they're chronically underfunded in terms of ongoing maintenance. So it's a true challenge, and there's all sorts of models around changing the way people pay for those and user pay systems, and a whole quite some challenging conversations that need to take place about how the industry and how community are sustainable in the long term on infrastructure.
Airport rely on digital infrastructure?
Absolutely. You think about 10, 20 years ago when you used to go to the travel agent and get your paper ticket, and you'd turn up at the airport and have to check in, and that was how the value exchange actually happened, because the value was on that paper ticket. That has moved dramatically now to where if you're travelling without baggage, you don't interact with airline staff at the airport. You basically walk straight through security onto your plane with your boarding pass on your phone. So the infrastructure to enable all of that's really important, and of course people want to be able to check in while they're driving around the state, in a national park or whatever, or hear about their changes to their flight, because that's how it's communicated and that's how they fix it. So being disconnected from that actually can leave you at quite a disadvantage.
And I presume that's the same.
Yeah, it certainly is on in remote areas. It's and you look at the industries that are in our communities. They're now more technology privy, so they need that better bandwidth with regards to connectivity as well. So a lot of remote operation now. So especially in the aquaculture industry, a lot of the feeding is done from here in Hobart and from Strawn. So and they quite often have issues with their digital connectivity in our areas. Yes, for sure.